Welcome to my YouTube channel Perfect Lab, and in today's video we are going to learn how to use the colony counter to count bacterial colonies on agar plate. And I believe by the end of this video you will be able to accurately count bacterial colonies and avoid some common counting errors. So let's get started. So the first step involved in counting bacterial colonies on an agar plate is to place the Petri dish containing the colonies on the viewing window of the colony counter as shown over here. And in doing this, we must always ensure that the colonies are clearly visible and well separated. And also, if the plate contains too many colonies, it is always best to divide the plate into 4 quadrants and count 1 quadrant at a time to avoid mixing or recounting the colonies. And in some cases too, we count just a quadrant and multiply it by 4. And once this is done, we adjust the magnifying lens over the plate to obtain a clear view of the colonies as shown over here, and then position the lamp arm to provide adequate illumination. And once we are done with adjusting the magnifying lens and the lamp arm, the next thing to do is to switch on the colony counter. And it is always important to check that the digital display reads 0. If not, we press the reset button on the colony counter to reset the display to 0 as shown here. And once this is done, we begin counting our bacterial colonies on the agar plate. And before we do this, we have to use the counting grid of the colony counter as a guide to systematically move across the plate section by section. So from this picture over here, this is the first section of our agar plate, the second section, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth, whenever we use the counting grid as a guide. So once we are done with this, we then start reading by touching each colony with the counting probe or the marker, depending on the model. And once each colony is being touched with the probe or the marker, each touch registers a count and automatically increases the number displayed on the digital display of the colony counter as shown here. And during the counting process, if a colony is accidentally counted twice, we correct these counting errors by pressing the correct button on the colony counter to subtract the incorrect count. So once we are done with this, we continue counting from where we stopped. So finally, we complete the count by counting all colonies on the agar plate and record the final number shown on the digital display as shown here. So once we are done with this, we then save the result by pressing the save button on the colony counter to store the colony count in the instrument memory for future reference or data transfer. And once we are done counting our bacterial colonies on the agar plate with the colony counter and recording our results and saving it on the instrument, it is always best to reset the buttons to clear the display and return the count to 0 before counting the next plate. And one key information that we have to note when counting our bacterial colonies to determine the colony forming unit per milliliter or the CFU per mil of a bacteria suspension, it is always best to choose plates with 30 to 300 colonies for accurate result. And plates that shows colonies greater than 300 is being reported as too numerous to count, or in short, TNTC. And plates with colonies less than 30 are reported to be too few to count, or in short, TFTC. So thanks for watching, and if you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe to Perfect Lab. Leave your comments or questions below, and don't forget to scan the code on your screen to follow us on WhatsApp for more laboratory updates and tutorials. See you in the next video.